Hey peeps, it's Jedd here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. Today we're going to deal with a simplification of an algebraic expression question, and specifically in this case, we're going to add some fractions and subtract some fractions together. And the minute we throw in some fractions, it makes a lot of people nervous. And hopefully, once we get through this video, you won't feel as nervous for questions like this in the future. Okay, so let's get straight into it. They've given us x squared over 2 plus 2x squared over 3 minus 7x squared over 6. Now the very first thing I notice, and I'm sure it's the first thing you notice, is that we've got three denominators that are all different. And very importantly, when it comes to adding or subtracting fractions, we need the same denominator in order to proceed. So the very first thing we need to do here is we need to try and find a lowest common denominator amongst all three of those fractions. So we've got a 2 and a 3 and a 6. Now when I see the 6, it immediately triggers that there is some relationship between 2, 3, and 6. Okay, remember when we find lowest common denominator, we're essentially finding the lowest common multiple between the three numbers. And I know that 6 is a multiple of both 2 and 3. So that means in this case, our lowest common multiple or denominator between the three denominators is going to be 6. What does that mean? Well, it means we need to multiply each of these fractions by something at the bottom that turns the denominator into 6, but because we do it to the bottom, we need to do it to the top as well. Okay, so let's explain what I mean by doing the question. So we've got x squared over 2, and in order to turn the bottom into a 6, I need to multiply that by 3. But because I've multiplied the bottom by 3, in order to keep that the same, I need to multiply the top by 3 as well. And that keeps the same values because we've multiplied by 1 essentially. Then if we look at our second term, we've got 2x squared over 3. Now in order to turn the denominator into a 6, I need to multiply the denominator by 2. And I need to do the same to the top so that I'm effectively multiplying by 1. And then finally, we've got minus 7x squared over 6. What do I do to the bottom to turn it into a 6? Well, it's already a 6, so I'd essentially multiply it by 1, which then I would need to multiply the top by 1, but that is essentially keeping it the same, so there's no reason to do that. Right, so now, as a result of all of that, I've turned this expression into one that has the same denominator of 6. Now, in order to keep everything the same, I need to make sure I'm multiplying by what I've specified in the step above. So I've got x squared times 3, which is going to be 3x squared. Then I've got 2x squared times 2, which is then going to be plus 4x squared. And then finally, I've got minus 7x squared times 1, which is simply going to be minus 7x squared. I say squared and I write a 6. Okay, so 7x squared. Right, moving on to our final step. Now we can start looking for some like terms that we can simplify. Luckily for us, the entire numerator is constituted of like terms. So let's add those up. So we've got 3x squared plus 4x squared gives us 7x squared minus 7x squared, which actually gives us 0. So our numerator turns into 0 over 6. Now we know any number that has a numerator of 0 is going to give us 0. So the way to think about it is, if there is no pi, how much pi does everyone get? Obviously, no one gets any pi. So our answer here, very simply, is going to be 0. Nice and simple. Good job. Very special thank you to our sponsors for making this video possible. Remember to check out our website for more of these epic tutorial videos. If you can't find the answer to your question, remember you can send us the question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. Until the next time, stay epic.